Aficionados que viven la intensidad del fútbol americano. Estamos ya en la semana número 6 de la Liga Vikingos y tenemos varias actividades previas al partido. Por lo pronto, recordar quiénes fueron los ganadores de la semana pasada. En la Nacional, Enrique Álvarez, y por el mejor ofensivo de la conferencia, y el mejor defensivo fue Chris Álvarez. Por el lado de la americana, Tua Tagovailoa y Chidobe Awuzie. Bien, ya habiendo recordado eso, vamos a ver qué conversaciones tenemos aquí. Enrique Álvarez, siento que las últimas 2 semanas nuestra ofensiva ha sido realmente muy buena. Todos queremos ser llamados a las jugadas. Exactamente la mentalidad que queremos tener. Y nosotros queremos que todos estén listos para poder llamarlos y tenerlos en cuenta en cada jugada. Lanzar 3 o más touchdowns en contra de los Bears para un plan de juego por pase que sea ganador. Muy bien. Tenemos también un jugador, pero ahorita lo vemos. Vamos a ver qué pasa. Discutir con el quarterback los recientes sucesos. Reportero, coach, la semana pasada fue otro de los grandes listas estelares del quarterback Fernando Álvarez. Se está creando una reputación por él mismo. Él juega bastante a un alto nivel y casi todos estamos tomando en cuenta que es un gran jugador. Y por lo tanto, para ser grande otra vez, se le pide que lance 1 o menos intercepciones, o sea, de preferencia ninguna, y que tenga 400 yardas de ganancia o que anote 4 touchdowns. Para una cantidad significativa es lo que se le pide a este quarterback. Muy bien. Y también se va a hablar sobre el oponente. Coach, los Osos están creciendo, pero algunas veces un equipo con viaje inexplicablemente busca encabezar el juego siguiente. ¿Alguna reserva que esté tramando en el juego? ¿Hay algo de miedo de que exista alguna trampa en el juego? No fear, no, para nada. Esta es la NFL y todos estamos en el juego. Así es que no tememos nada. Dice golpe frío. Los Osos están tramando algo y todos los jugadores tendrán menos 5 tacleadas en play recognition y tackle. Tendrán menos tacleadas que romper y todo ese rollo que ya les expliqué. Está bien. Ganarle a los... Estar en la mesa, ganarle a los Osos y evadir y evitar caer como víctimas de la trampa del juego, algo así dice. Ya lo veremos en la traducción. Muy bien. Tenemos un jugador que está insistiendo en que le demos esos 3 años, pero está loco. Si tuviera mayor interés lo pensaríamos, pero no. Así es que te voy a hacer la misma oferta. ¿La tomas o la dejas? Pues sigue soñando, chato. Sigue soñando. Bien. Entonces, volvemos al juego y la estrategia de la semana, ¿cuál va a ser? Primero, tenemos que cubrir al corredor Dalvin Cook, que es un muy buen corredor y sobre todo por fuera. Defender la carrera por fuera. Mejores bloqueos. Tacleos. Persuadir y jugar y reconocer las jugadas cuando nos llamen por fuera. Y mejorar el bloqueo, el tacleo y todo lo demás. Vamos a ver qué tal están las fatigas. Pues nada, están perfectas. Creo que nuestra defensiva está al 100%. Vamos a la ofensiva. Tenemos a un linebacker central que es Tremaine Edmonds, que es top rate. Y vamos a escoger una defensiva blitz counter. Mejorar la presión al lanzador bajo. Mejorar la presión bajo presión. El lanzamiento bajo presión. Que se hagan buenos bloqueos para proteger al pasador. Correr rutas cortas y cachar en blitz counter, jugadas de blitz counter. Ok, ¿cómo están nuestros fatigados amigos de la ofensiva? Parece que están bien todos. Ok, pues entonces, dado que todo el mundo está bien, pues vámonos al entrenamiento. Y pues aquí vemos a la defensiva que está entera. Nadie está fatigado. Y en la ofensiva, Alejandro y Justin Jefferson son los que tienen algo de fatiga. También Jorge Escamilla tienen el mismo nivel de fatiga, pero no es nada grave, no es nada que nos pueda realmente preocupar. Así es que vámonos ya. Tenemos algunos jugadores que después de los entrenamientos se han ganado en mejorar algunas habilidades. Por ejemplo, el quarterback Fernando Álvarez va a subir a 89, ya tiene la moral muy alta y el temperamento también muy alto. Está en 89, pero es como si estuviera en 97 según esto. Claro, él ya es un Superstar X Factor y wow, va a seguir teniendo un historial tremendo. En cuanto a Enrique, ahí va. Tiene muy buenas calificaciones para mejorar sus habilidades. Y ya, aunque está en 87, se siente como si estuviera en 89 por su moral alta. O sea, es la actitud. Tío Jackson y los otros, bueno, pues ya está la cosa. Vamos al staff para ver cuáles son los objetivos que plantean para esta semana. para el juego de este fin de semana. Y vemos que el head coach está pidiendo 15 o más primeros y dieces. Es un reto que no sé si lo logremos, pero bueno. Y nuevamente el coordinador ofensivo se ve muy mediocrillo, con 250 más. No, señor, 400 o más, no menos. Así es que más vale que trabajes para que tu equipo haga ese tipo de esfuerzos. Y también el coordinador defensivo se está viendo bastante flojito. ¿Permitir 20 o menos? No, señor. Máximo 10. Máximo 10 es lo que podemos permitirnos en anotaciones. De preferencia ninguna. Y finalmente, ese ni siquiera está en discusión. Este es el objetivo en el game plan de la semana. Ok. Y así las cosas, ya todo está listo para que inicie el partido. Nosotros, pues, no tenemos más que decir, más que esperemos que se diviertan en este partido que se ve muy interesante. Aparentemente, ¿verdad? Por lo que se ve, los Osos no traen una buena racha. Traen una racha perdedora, completamente 0 ganados, 5 perdidos. Y pues quién sabe si realmente sean un equipo competitivo, pero veamos, son de la misma división y por lo tanto los partidos siempre son difíciles. Y sin más, mandamos cámaras y micrófonos al estadio de los Osos de Chicago y nosotros volveremos al final de la transmisión. La transmisión estará a cargo de nuestros colegas norteamericanos de la cadena EA Sports SG. Así es que nos vemos al final del encuentro.
Today, from Soldier Field in Chicago, it's Week 6 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Chicago Bears taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
They say summer is the time to live in Chicago. Well, that's extended into autumn as we are ready to roll under blue skies at Soldier Field. Today, we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here, as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Chicago Bears. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Bears team entering play. They come in pretty desperate here for a win as they've started the year 0-5.
And it seems way too early to start talking about hot seats. But guess what? When a team is 0-5, people start wondering about their jobs.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
Khalil Herbert to return it from his end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. So here come the Bears to take over on offense behind their third-year quarterback, former Ohio State Buckeye Charles Justin Fields.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now As a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
Here we go. Green 19, got that. Hey, 40's Mike. 40
They run with a former Panther. It's D'Onta Foreman trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's second down now. And, Charles, you wonder about this defense coming in. I mean, look, it's no secret they're playing a team that's down on its luck right now. Losers of 5 straight. How does that change how you prepare for a game?
Well, to me, the first thought is you just get after them early, right? Take away any chance of them building any confidence. But the second thing is you...
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at third down and long. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And a look at a guy, definitely got a little razzle-dazzle to him. Can do it with his arm or his legs. Their mobile QB.
And he's been playing at an elite level here in this early half of the season. Tops in the league in touchdown passes at this point. This is definitely a wide-open offense, so we'll see if he can keep his string of good games going right here.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. These are his numbers from last week's contest. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
2nd and 5.
49 to Mike. 49 to Mike. Got to do better.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And this is caught. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Vikings are on the board first here this afternoon. Well, Charles, kind of the future of this franchise on display right there. You had a rookie throwing it, a rookie catching it, and taking it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if we were in the owner's box right now and we could look at the front office and see the grins on their faces to see the present making plays and knowing what the future will bring with these youngsters going out and making big-time moments happen for this team.
Now for the point after. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt, they're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
In your face.
Fields hit and the ball is loose. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Extra point forthcoming. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Moore, the man in motion. Off play action. Fields to the right side, and he's got Moore complete. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. This defense for the Vikings, they were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win.
Here's Fields. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Cook. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. On the option right is Fields. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. Boy, the pursuit there, terrific from the linebacking core.
Oh, it certainly was, because so many times on an option play, you'll see a linebacker make a beeline for the quarterback and then zip, one cut, and he's grasping at air. But this time, he locked in on him the whole way, took an excellent angle, and his grasp came up with the quarterback.
Couple of plays sent him the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. Now it's Fields. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
And fights through one man. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. They're spinning away. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A big hitter there, a 1st down gain of 26 yards.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach, because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 43. Now back to throw. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down. So this, Charles, on paper at least, not the most even of matchups. Polar opposite, really. I mean, on one sideline, you got the hottest team in the league, still unbeaten, and on the other side, a winless squad.
And that's why I owe you, and I owe you big, because you did email me this week to remember any given Sunday. That was a phrase you typed to me, and that's what we have to remember in this ball game. It resounds when you think about it. Unbeaten versus winless, any given Sunday, anything can happen in this league.
That is caught, and they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great play there. His 25th touchdown, tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Vikings have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. So how about the season, Charles, that he continues to put together? That's now 25 rushing touchdowns on the year. That's getting into some very rarefied territory.
Yeah, it made you and I do a little extra homework prior to this one in anticipation, because that one moves him past John Riggins with 24. He draws even with Emmitt Smith at 25 in 1995. Next up, Priest Holmes and Sean Alexander with 27. And the guy on top, LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, the Hall of Famer, he had 28 in 2006.
Extra point attempt to come here. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. 5 plays there on that drive, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Second down, they go right back to Cook. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's third down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Third and long, it's Fields. That's complete to Mooney. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be fourth down.
Brandon, a good idea there on third down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
On fourth down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. This is taken at the 23. It's a 47-yard punt, but they did give up 10 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here are the Vikings to take over. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat in this ball game as well. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He'll rifle this one deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Charles, every time that he makes one of these plays, I think the front office, they get a bigger and bigger collective smile because they feel more confident that they have found their guy, their future at quarterback.
And they should feel that way. It's obvious he's a big part of why they have such a good record this season. You're right about the bright future as well, and by association, a bright future for the franchise too.
Now the try here for the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Chicago offense set to get started. They've got to be absolutely reeling right now. Couldn't have expected to be down this big this early. But that's the spot they're in as they come up to try again here. Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. He'll start by handing it off to Dalvin Cook. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. You look at this defense for the Vikings. It's quite a unit, that's for sure. Number 1 in the NFL against the pass.
And when you're getting ready to face the number 1 overall offense in the NFL.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more than he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long.
Let's go. Hey, Mike 40, Mike 40.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Here comes the Bears punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10.
Here we go. 70 Timberwolves. Mike. Too little, Cupcake. Check. Go.
And they'll begin by running the option. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
49 to Mike. We own them. We own them.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. Down at the 25.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 6.
53, Mike 53. Let's go.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. Broken tackle. Still fighting for more. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. 60 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this 1st half.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
This offense continues to be a hot knife through butter. 3 drives, 3 scores, and knocking on the door again on drive number 4. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
You know, when this offense gets down here near the end zone, they're going to turn to their bell cow, and this guy's been a touchdown machine all year. Excellent job stopping him there on 1st down.
Double tight, guys. Double tight. 4 down. Check.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Vikings are able to widen their lead here in this 1st half. Well, fair to say they've got something here in this rookie running back, and he's in for the 2nd time in the ball game.
And Brandon, it's a position where there's often a lot of turnover, a lot of competition at that spot. But he's proven to them that he wants to be the bell cow guy that his franchise can rely on.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
That he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4. Defensively, they were all over that. When he decided to keep it, there were a lot of eyes just darted on him.
I wonder if he followed the progressions properly there. I think maybe he really wanted to run with the football. Turned out not to be the correct decision.
On is Presley Harvin now as he'll send this one away. .33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And they will take over 1st and 10. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, kind of just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard.
That's down the field for Jefferson. He's got it at the 15. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson, 66 yards. And the Vikings have taken a 6-touchdown lead. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. And the route is on here in this first half. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
They'll start with the option. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Well, that play never really got off the launching pad. He had a linebacker in his face before he had a chance to do much of anything.
Yeah, I think it's big boys up front, that offensive line. They've got to do a little bit better job of protecting him if they're going to continue to run the option like this.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Back to throw. Fields. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
Here's Presley Harvin now. Shreds him with a stiff arm. It'll be a 39-yard punt. Give him a good 10 yards on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back. And that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 5. He's going to try and do this himself. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Excellent job on the keeper. 20 yards and a 1st down. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Hands it off out of the gun. Powering his way forward. And he's down into the red zone at the 15 after a gain of 15. 1st and 10.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack. And guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Here's the option. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A 15-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings extend their lead yet again. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Point after try forthcoming. And the route is on here in this first half. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it was finished by the touchdown run from the 15. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. A play fake, now Fields to throw. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
Not many boos just yet from this home crowd, but they may be starting soon, as I'm starting to detect an uneasy murmur through this crowd. This offense, they've been lifeless in this first half. And now here's another punting situation and a 4th down.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings just continue to roll. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And the route is on here in this first half. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Fields. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well, so give some credit to the defense.
Throwing on 3rd down. Fields. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And the defense coming through on third down, a loss of 7 to bring up fourth. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Here comes the Bears punter now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. They'll score that a 36-yard punt. And now out comes Minnesota.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. 99 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along.
Eluding the pressure right. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field.
Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. He'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line.
It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Now they'll run on the draw. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Eddie Jackson with a tackle.
2nd and 7.
And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Touchdown!
Justin Jefferson.
His 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season.
And the Vikings are pouring it on.
Brandon, remind me again, this is a rookie quarterback we're seeing?
A rookie indeed.
I mean, because my eyes are telling me something I'm having trouble believing. 5 touchdown passes. He's thrown 5 in this game. Are you kidding me?
Extra point attempt here still to come. And the route is on here in this first half. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told.
And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw is Fields.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace the way that you want it done. I mean, here in the first half, already twice the ball's come out and hit the turf. Got to find a way to take care of it. Otherwise, they may have to start thinking about maybe someone different at that position.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. He'll look to throw.
And he's got this to Jefferson.
And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A good pickup there, 21 yards. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Touchdown, Vikings! From 3 yards out.
And the Vikings will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
A try here for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
The Bears going to get one more possession in this first half. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive.
Here we go.
30 seconds remain in this first half as they come up here 1st and 10.
Play action. It's Fields. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
2nd and 10. Fields again.
That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Fields now to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
Tight end to the right, boy. Tight end to the right. Move. We got three. We got three.
Throwing again is Fields.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll start over at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, and it's the Buccaneers who are out in front in the second quarter. The Bucs trying to hold on and claim victory. From there, we head a little further north up to Atlanta to check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And you can see currently they trail in that ball game. Jacoby Brissett throwing the football well. He has 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's head to Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati to see what's happening with the Bengals. And you can see they have the lead over the visiting Seahawks. Joe Burrow has thrown a touchdown pass.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half.
And we will not see a return to start the half, as this will be a touchback. Now the Vikings offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things?
And now off to the races down the right side. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there. 75 yards.
And the Vikings have got it on cruise control.
I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that. Man, one play, 75 yards, end zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn up on the whiteboard. Big-time play, big-time result.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half.
Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 18. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up second down.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Now an option play on second down.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to kick it away. Shoves him aside and shedding through the tackle. So a change of possession here on the punt. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. It's going to be pretty tough for them to match their efficiency, Charles, of that last possession, needing only the one play to find the end zone on the rushing touchdown.
Yeah, they got that together collectively, didn't they? Total group effort. Although the guy toting the rock, he gets all the credit. It was blocked up so well. The only thing stopping him was running into the goalpost in the back of the end zone.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. High throw, but the catch is made. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. Rookie to rookie on the hook up there, and it's a first down. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
Ready up. Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. You must be treated. 53 is the Mike. 53 is the Mike.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. 18 more yards there and another first down. Pretty ideal right there. Keep it yourself, get the first down, and get the heck out of bounds.
And knowing him, I believe he's thinking, I can get a few more yards if I just lower my shoulder. But he also hears that second voice in his head. His head coach, and probably his agent too, saying, get out of bounds, man. Don't do that.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
205 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage. But every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
And he's brought down. That's a 12-yard gain now on back-to-back plays. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota.
It's a 1-yard touchdown run, and the Vikings extend their lead yet again. So he had the nice run to get him down there, was stopped just short of the goal line, but they go right back to him, CD, and he delivers to finish the drive off.
A little extra determination there, don't you think, partner? You notice he didn't tap on his helmet and say, get me out after the run down to the end zone. He said, I almost got in. I'm going to get in on my own. I'm staying in. And he carries it across the goal line.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Now motion left with Mooney. Oh, a fake on the jet sweep as they run with Cook up the middle.
Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with third down coming up.
They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. Give him the third down conversion. 5 yards on the play.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Fields.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. And you talk about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy.
Without a doubt, but for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time.
Point after here coming up. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21.
Onto the field now come the Bears.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Looking to throw on 2nd down, Fields. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Fields.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Racing to the end zone. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this third quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick six is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
Now the try here for the point after. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Bears offense out there set and ready to go. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's second down.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them, maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
Ball at the 23, second and 8. Oh, the option left is Fields. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. A really nice effort that time. 12 yards on the keeper, picking up the first.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Fields under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's second down.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Looking to throw. Fields. There's a short throw. It's caught by Kmet, and he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
A shotgun snap. Fields. There's a short throw. It's caught by Kmet. And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the 1st, right around the 42. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on 3rd down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stop him short.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. That'll go as a 39-yard punt, give him 9 on the return. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He has been a touchdown machine. It has been enjoyable to watch.
And the scoreboard continues to light up as a result of his efforts. He's been a blast, though. Every time you look up, you just figure if he's got the ball in his hands, he's going to end up in the end zone. It's been that kind of a game for him.
Absolutely. Now you just keep waiting for more. Nice move at the 40. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Boy, 248 yards rushing for him now on the afternoon as he just continues to pummel this defense. Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles. Gain some additional yardage.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And it's intercepted. Picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker. And the Bears will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
Meanwhile, Fields' throw there complete to Mooney. So the completion good for just 3, and it'll be 2nd down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. His throw incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Out of the gun, Fields. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. There's a glimpse of Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver, as he and the Minnesota Vikings return back here on offense. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it.
He's got a man complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one good for 37 yards.
And even with the game seemingly in hand, they're continuing to fire away, pressing the ball down the field. Listen, it's worked all day. No reason to go away from it now.
Back to throw now on first down. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Justin Jefferson, 41 yards. And the Vikings add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears now ready to take over again. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Still needing 10 yards. Now it's 3rd down. From the gun, here's Fields.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he'll be brought down around the 7-yard line.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out.
Justin Jefferson and the rest of this offense, they've got their helmets back on, and they're ready for this next series.
This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over to our team so we don't...
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Taking it in from 7 yards away.
And the Vikings continue to pour it on here in the 4th. So the moment is finally at hand. What a season, CD. His 29th rushing touchdown of the year. No one in the history of the NFL has had more in a single season. And congratulations to him. What an achievement.
We certainly had the feeling early in the year, maybe week 2 or 3, where we talked to each other and thought this could really turn into something. But I don't know if either of us thought we'd get to this point. Maybe the best season ever by a running back in NFL history.
Now the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Well, they got the ball in great field position. 1 play later, boom, end zone. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field.
And you hate to see this for them, but they're looking at yet another loss to begin this season. Things really going from bad to worse as they trail here starting this drive 1st and 10 in the 4th quarter. Quick throw there is incomplete.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Operating from the gun. Fields looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted.
Inside the 20.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things, but these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
The Chicago offense set to get started. Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10.
At their 25-yard line. After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Here's Fields. They're bringing pressure.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
Partner, my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front 7 today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long.
Hey, Mike 40, Mike 40.
Back to throw.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to kick it away. And taken right at the 35. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return.
There's a glimpse of Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver, as he and the Minnesota Vikings return back here on offense.
And I think we both agreed he could have a really good game with this matchup, but over 200 yards now.
I don't think we saw it as that good. And I think what really makes it special is when games like this are occurring, it's not just getting locked in and in the zone and on a roll. It's continuing to adjust throughout the game because, you know, the defense is kicking coverages towards him, trying their best to slow him down, and he keeps getting the better of them.
Yeah, whatever they've done, it hasn't worked.
And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43.
That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, 1st down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here.
And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown. A great effort there. 43 yards. And the Vikings just continue to roll. Well, partner, I mean, if anybody was still questioning whether or not he had an NFL caliber arm, I think you can toss that right out the window. That was a heck of a throw right there.
I would agree totally. Question it no more. This rookie, big time throw right there. Great poise, stepped up, trusted he could lay it in there perfectly, and he knew that his guy was going to make the catch on the other end. Nice collaboration.
Point after, right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to get going again. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one. Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. And from the shotgun, he'll throw. Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down.
Let's go ahead and put check marks by it all, partner. No points. Down by 4 touchdowns. Haven't had anything going today on offense. Why not add a late sack to the mix? Obviously a day to forget for all involved. Let's give plenty of credit to this defensive effort. They've been excellent from start to finish.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Back to throw. Fields. He's got the connection to Moore. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
From the gun on 3rd down, Fields. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the 1st as the tackle is made at the 33. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
A short game that doesn't get them the 1st down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on here to punt it away. It's taken to the 26. A nice punt, but a good run back as well, 13 yards. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Justin Jefferson and the rest of this offense, they've got their helmets back on, and they're ready for this next series. So far, he has the trio of touchdowns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good game for him.
So if this were hockey, they'd be throwing their hats out on the ice for the hat trick, right? I'm not sure exactly what you do in the NFL, except applaud and continue to hope you see a little bit more of this. What a tremendous game.
You want to start a new tradition? What can we throw on the field?
I don't know.
Throw your mic out there.
A lot of fans would like that. Cut his mic off.
3 touchdowns so far. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. 60 yards. And the Vikings are pouring it on. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point splits the uprights. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field.
Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much. 2nd and 10.
Throwing again. Fields. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line.
Oh, my goodness, CD. I mean, this defense just continuing to dominate. They're really dominating on both sides of the ball. But for the defense, that's now 3 interceptions for him here in this ball game.
And what a great teaching tape for this defensive coordinator, right? When they go back and review this game, what does he always tell us that he preaches to his team? We're going to lead the league in effort. Well, they're doing that in this game as well as making big plays.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That good for 19 and a 1st down.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Back to throw here. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
He's into the secondary.
Touchdown! A great effort there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Vikings take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Now for the point after. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Setting up the screen for Cook. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Looking to throw. Fields. There's a short throw. It's caught by Kmet. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. Fields to Kmet there for a Chicago first.
Not a great season for the Bears passing game, which ranked last in the league, but very solid year by Kmet. Established himself as a dependable target at tight end and led Chicago in yards and touchdowns.
On 1st and 10, here's Fields. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Talk about two sides of the ball at cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front 7, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Watch left. Coming, baby. I'm coming, baby.
Operating from the gun. Fields being chased, and he's going to go down again. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Fielded at the 33. Sheds off the tackle. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he's in for the score. And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard charging run, give it right back to him and let him cap things off.
Extra point right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt a return. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. What silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Vikings, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Bears, the downward spiral continues as they drop to 0-6 now. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Soldier Field.